Well, we found ourselves in a bit of a predicament here trying to get onto the next beach. Got bogged down in this really soft stuff, so the truck's just leaning over on an angle. I'm gonna try to use max tracks on this side to give it a boost and hopefully we can continue on here. I just didn't have enough momentum.
Welcome to episode 7 of our crossing of Australia. It's day 35 of our adventure, and we're now in Western Australia, the last province of our continental crossing. We've just finished fueling up at the last roadhouse along the Nullarbor. Perth is our final destination, and its limits are within reach. The journey so far has been incredible. Long and trying in some areas, but rewarding nonetheless. We're finishing our time in the outback, having just completed the crossing of the Nullarbor. A vast, spectacular expanse, the Nullarbor was one of the most memorable regions of the entire journey. Our next objective is to make it to the town of Esperance, but before that, we have to drive Australia's longest straight road through the desert to the coast.
Alright guys, well, we kind of ran into some trouble here, a bit of unfortunate news. We are going to make our way down to Israelite Bay through the Baladonia Road, right across the Baladonia Roadhouse. However, the road is closed, and we talked to the kind lady at the roadhouse there, and she told us that since the fires came through here, it sounds like a few years ago, that the road has been closed. It's super chewed up. The police just don't want to deal with it, so they closed the road. And this was kind of our main way into Israelite Bay. However, time-wise now, we'd have to go around to Norseman, down to Esperance, and then into Israelite Bay, and that's like 600 or 700 kilometers. And I just think we're running out of time, so looks like we won't get to push into Israelite Bay. That's okay though, because we still have Norseman and Esperance to see. So we are going to make the push to Esperance this afternoon, and we'll be camping around Esperance tonight. Big accomplishment here. We just made it into Norseman. It has been so remote for so long, and this is the first real town that we've been to since Seduna, which is now 1,500 kilometers. I haven't had cell service in 1,500 kilometers. Crazy. We also just turned off the air highway that started back in Port Augusta, probably around 1,700 kilometers ago. So huge accomplishment. We finished the air highway. It's just crazy. I don't even know what to say. It's been a kind of a wild ride, and it's been super remote, and we've seen a lot of things. Our next big thing to do is to head into Esperance and find a camp for this evening.
But first, we're gonna have celebratory sandwiches.
But first, we're gonna have celebratory sandwiches in the Welcome Park in Norseman. So we're just between Norseman and Esperance now. I just wanted to mention, if you guys are thinking about coming out to Australia, kind of what the cell service situation is like, because we've had a healthy dose of reality here for the past couple of days. We haven't had cell service across the entire Nullarbor, and the last reliable cell service we had was probably Seduna. And between Seduna and Norseman is about 1,500 Ks, less if you're just staying on the highway, but more if you're on the dirt roads. And like I said, no cell service in 1,500 Ks, which was, a bit weird. And the thing that I also noticed for cell service was that it's pretty good if you're in a town or a city, but as soon as you get outside of that town or city, it's gone. Like, we were just in Norseman, got a little bit of service. It was still, I'm not gonna lie, it was not good. It was really not good service there that we got, which was a bit frustrating because it is, populated town. 5 minutes outside of Norseman, we're back to no service. I'm assuming we'll get it back in Esperance, but it's just kind of weird because coming from Canada, you have service in the city, really good service in the city, and out on all the major highways, all the major byways. I have cell service out on the trails most of the time, you know, all the way down to the US border, all the way east, all the way west. Like it's very good cell service, good healthy cell service all the way around. You know, you'll run into areas in BC where you don't have cell service for a few days when you're really like out in the mountains, far away from anything. But other than that, you pretty much have service the entire time. So coming out here and realizing that the only time you get a lick of service is when you're in a town, and even when you're in a town, there's no guarantee that it's going to be good service. It's just interesting. So if you're going to come out here, just make sure you have another way of communication. You know, Starlink is getting really big these days. I've been thinking about, you know, maybe investing in a Starlink system or some sort of sat phone or Garmin communication device. You definitely want something if you're going to come out here, because it's you know, if you need to communicate anything to anyone, you're going to have to be in a town. So just thought I'd share that little tidbit with you guys. I'm going to be in Esperance here in about an hour and a half.
We're gonna go check out the beach, I think. A secret passage into the water. Hopefully.
Whoa! Spider. I don't know. Go under.
Morning, everyone. I'll have to excuse my hair. Just got out of bed. We decided to get up nice and early this morning and go check out the sunrise over the bay here. Got in right at dusk last night. We were able to catch just a little bit of the sunset. We really didn't know where we were going to end up last night. It was like 5 o'clock and we still didn't know where we were going to be camping, which can be a bit stressful. So we just set point on Overlander, and there was some debate on it because some people said that it's just a day use area. Other people were saying that you can camp here, and the sun was setting, so we're like, we just weren't sure if it was going to be worth the time to come out here, because if we had to come all the way out here and we weren't allowed to stay out here, then that was going to be a problem. But thankfully we were able to stay the night here at this beautiful camp spot. There are other people camping around here, and this is definitely a designated camping area. So super nice though. We're going to make some coffee and enjoy the sunrise, and then have another good day. got bogged down in this really soft stuff, so the truck's just leaning over on an angle. I'm gonna try to use max tracks on this side to give it a boost, and hopefully we can continue on here. Coming off the beach now, and I really don't want to get hung up on that spot we got coming down. So I'm just going to put some max tracks in place just as a precaution to hopefully give us that extra boost when we're coming up here. I think momentum will be enough to do the job, but this sand is really, really soft, and it's a bit of a steep off-camber beach exit here. So I'm going to have to give it some momentum, and then these things will be there just in case. All right, this will be one of our last fill-ups before Perth. We are making it to Perth today. So we just fueled up and got some coffee in Esperance here. It's the last stop on our Australian Bight trip. The whole idea of this adventure was to cross the continent of Australia over the Bight, and Esperance was the last stop. So that's a huge milestone for us to be rolling out of this town. We got bogged on the beach there. We got to do some four-wheel driving around. We got a very nice last camp spot. And now today is the day that we are heading into Perth, and that will conclude our cross-continent, our cross-Australia adventure. With a little bit more luck, we will make it to Perth. It's about 7 hours away, just under 700 kilometers away. So we're gonna make the big push today and hopefully see the west coast of Australia, and that will signify that we have made it across the country. Allison and I, we are tired. I'm not gonna lie. We are both feeling the fatigue of the road. It's been, you know, every day comes with its decision making, and I would say the biggest thing that we're both fatigued of is, you know, having to make all of the decisions in a day when you don't know where you are and what you're doing. It does come with a lot of decision making and decision making fatigue, right? So we're tired. We're ready to be off the road, coming up on 40 days here. Perth, we're going to be there for another 7 weeks. So just because we're done our cross-continent adventure doesn't mean the adventure stops. We are going to be taking it a little bit slower in Perth. We're going to be staying at an accommodation. Allison's going to be finishing up her schooling, but we're still going to be going on some adventures around Perth and around the West Coast. Today, our main goal is to get to Perth and celebrate a massive victory. So we are officially entering the Perth suburbs here. The sun set about 10 minutes ago, so it's getting dark, but we have officially reached Albany Road here. I believe that's what it's called, Albany Road, and it is the official start of the Perth suburbs. It's a little bittersweet, you know? I mean, on one hand, I'm very, very excited to be done with it, because it's a heck of a long way. My gosh, I was not expecting. I mean, I was expecting it, but really doing it, you know, you realize just how many kilometers and how big this place is. I'm going to be happy to be out of the car every day, you know, doing several hundred kilometers in the car every day. We're going to get to have a bit of a break from that. But on the other hand, you know, I'm really going to miss being in the car every day and seeing new sights and seeing more country and getting to see some good camp spots, some not so good camp spots. You know, the roadhouses along the Nullarbor, meeting people. I'm gonna miss that. I've gotten used to, you know, sleeping in the swag. I've really loved that. I enjoy the cruiser. I enjoy sitting in the driver's seat here and looking out the front windshield, and so I'm really gonna miss that. But like I said earlier, the adventure does not stop in Perth. We are going to be doing some other things while we're here. So, sorry, I gotta pay attention. There's actually traffic around me. I feel like I haven't seen real traffic in a long time. So it's actually kind of nice. We've seen all of these tiny, tiny little towns along the way, and we passed through a lot of farming today, a lot of nothing, a lot of rural towns. So to be in suburbs again, it's a bit of an odd feeling. But the official end for me is when I get to touch the Indian Ocean. Once we get to touch the Indian Ocean outside of Perth, I will know that I have touched the Pacific and then the Indian Ocean, and that will be the official end to this trip. So I don't know if we're gonna get to do that today, because like I said, the sun is pretty much set and it's gonna be dark here by the time we get to our accommodations. But I'm confident that tomorrow morning we're gonna go down to the water. We're gonna touch the Indian Ocean as a ceremonial gesture to the end of this trip, the biggest trip we've ever done. It's been a ton of fun. There have been some stressful moments, of course, but overall it's been a fantastic trip. Learned so much about Australia, this amazing country. Learned a lot about myself too. We're gonna wrap this up here, and I will talk to you guys soon. So close to the ocean, so close to touching that west coast of Australia. Oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. Touch the ocean, coast to coast, Sydney to Perth. Here we are. Wow, incredible. Just amazing. Alright, so we ended up on a bit of a side quest here. I'm not sure if you guys recognize this place, but this drop tower is famous from the How Ridiculous YouTube channel. They've really made this place something to behold and known to the public, and I'm not sure if you guys have seen their crazy stunts over the years, but they have dropped cars and boats and planes and giant darts, and just about anything you can imagine has fallen off of this tower here. So we were actually driving on our way out to the Lancelin Sand Dunes today, and we saw the sign for the Discovery Center here with the gravity tower. So I just said, oh my gosh, I have to make a stop at this place and see what it's all about, see it in person. So let's climb these stairs and drop a few water balloons off the top and see how it goes.
It's been a few weeks now since finishing up our trip, and we're settling into a daily routine. Allison has started her exchange program for school and is working at one of the local hospitals. I've been enjoying the quiet days at our accommodation, doing some editing, going for walks, and exploring the city. On the weekends, we're out discovering the surrounding areas of Perth and Western Australia.
This is a lot of stairs.
We're on our way out of town today to check out the Lancelin Sand Dunes and a few other places. But first, I just have to drop a few water balloons off the top of this tower.
Ready? Holy man.
Scared of heights.
Let's go check out the Lancelin Sand Dunes.
The Lancelin Dunes, located about an hour and a half north of Perth, are the largest sand dunes in the state and a popular adventure destination. Some dunes reach up to 30 meters high, that's 98 feet, offering panoramic views of the Indian Ocean and surrounding bushland. The dunes are open to four-wheel drive vehicles, dirt bikes, and quads, making it a playground for off-road enthusiasts. The contrast of pure white sand against blue skies is stunning, especially at sunrise and sunset. We're here for a few days to explore and enjoy the area.
Made it to camp just right by the beach here. Nice little spot. It was a fun day ripping around on the sand dunes. Tomorrow we're going to do some more sand dune driving and head out to a place called the Pinnacles. Some awesome geological formations out that way we're going to go check out. So yeah, it was a good day.
We make our way out of the dunes early the next morning, on our way to another geological wonder, a place called the Pinnacles. But first, we need to get back out onto the main road. On our way out, we get caught out in some unexpectedly soft sand and end up needing some help from one of the locals. This is why I always stop to help people who are stuck or look to be in need of assistance, because I know that soon enough, I'll be the one who needs a helping hand. The Pinnacles are thousands of limestone formations rising from the yellow desert sands, some reaching up to 5 meters high. They were formed over thousands of years from seashell deposits, eroded by wind and water into interesting jagged shapes. A 4-kilometer loop allows you to drive through the desert for an up-close look. Our last Australian adventure before heading home is to visit Rottnest Island, just off the coast of Perth. A quick ferry ride took us to this unique destination, known for its white sandy beaches, turquoise waters, and laid-back island vibes. We rented bikes and spent the day pedaling around the entire island, taking in the stunning scenery and meeting its most famous residents, the quokkas. These small, friendly marsupials are found only in this part of Australia, and their smiling faces have made them a popular internet sensation. Interestingly, Rottnest got its name from the Dutch explorer Willem de Vlaming, who mistook quokkas for giant rats and named it Rottnest or Rat's Nest Island in 1696. That's a wrap on our journey across Australia. Over 40 days and 10,000 kilometers, we took a budget 4-wheel drive from Sydney to Perth, pushing through incredible highs, stressful lows, and everything in between. It wasn't always easy, but it was absolutely worth it. If there's one thing we hope you take away from this series, it's that you don't need the most expensive gear or the perfect plan to have an unforgettable adventure. We're regular, everyday people who had a dream and decided to go for it. And you can too. Along the way, we discovered the beauty of Australia, met amazing people, and learned a lot about ourselves. So, if you've been dreaming about a trip like this or any other kind of adventure, consider this your sign to make it happen. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you in the next adventure.